Today, we're going to be taking a look at Keanu Reeves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're going to kind of try to unpack this guy.
Hmm.
What makes him tick both on and off the screen?
Yeah, I think he's a fascinating figure in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's achieved incredible success and fame, but seems to remain remarkably grounded.
Totally. So the excerpt kind of starts off with his childhood.
Okay.
And it's interesting because it wasn't like the most stable upbringing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was born in Beirut, Lebanon.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then his family moved around a bunch.
Oh, wow.
Sydney, New York, Toronto, before they ended up settling in Canada.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that would do to a person.
Right, just constantly having to adjust to new environments. Yeah, and I'm sure that had an impact on them, you know?
Just trying to find your place in the world while you're constantly having to, adapt.
Absolutely. And on top of all that, he also had some learning challenges because he had dyslexia.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that about him.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, that he found an outlet through sports. Became a star hockey goalie, actually.
No way.
Yeah, he even earned the nickname The Wall.
Wow.
So that suggests some real resilience, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah. Drive to kind of excel in the face of obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that played a role in him becoming successful as an actor.
I think there's a definite connection there, you know, all
Okay.
those early life experiences kind of navigating challenges.
Hmm.
It might have fostered like a depth of empathy and understanding that he brings to his roles.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of roles, he got his start in Canadian television.
Okay.
And he actually had a small part in that hockey film, Youngblood.
Oh, interesting.
But I think the role that really put him on the map.
Was Ted Theodore Logan?
Oh, yes. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Of course.
I mean, it's amazing how that film became such a cultural touchstone.
Right.
And Keanu's comedic timing was just perfect. It was
Yeah.
brilliant in it.
I mean, I still quote Bill and Ted all the time,
Oh, me too.
but he didn't want to get pigeonholed as just like the funny guy. So he made this really conscious decision to take on more serious roles.
Yeah, you can really see his commitment to his craft here. He didn't want to be confined to a single genre.
Right.
So he took on projects like My Own Private Idaho, which dealt with some pretty complex themes,
Yeah, like identity and belonging.
Exactly. And then there was Point Break, which showcased his physicality and charisma as an undercover FBI agent.
It's like he was actively trying to push himself, prove that he could handle different characters.
Yeah, different genres.
And then Speed came along,
Oh, yeah.
and that really cemented him as an action star.
Speed was definitely a game changer. Showed audiences that he could handle a big budget action thriller.
Totally.
It's fascinating when you look at the trajectory of his career, from these kind of quirky comedic roles to high stakes action hero.
Constantly evolving.
Yeah, defying expectations.
But while his career was taking off, his personal life unfortunately took a really sad turn.
In 1993, he lost his close friend, River Phoenix, to a drug overdose.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And the impact of that loss was, it was profound,
I can't imagine losing someone that close.
especially under such tragic circumstances. And then just a few years later, his partner, Jennifer Syme, they had a stillborn daughter, Ava.
Oh my gosh.
It's just heartbreaking to think about the grief they must have gone through.
Right, and then tragically, Jennifer Syme died in a car accident just a year later.
Yeah, that's right.
It's unbelievable.
A series of events that would devastate anyone.
It really puts his career success into perspective to
Yeah.
achieve so much in the face of such personal loss.
It's a testament to his strength and resilience.
It seems like he channeled that pain into his work.
Yeah, I think he found solace and purpose in his art.
And then, of course, came the role that would not only define his career,
What's that?
but really change the landscape of science fiction cinema.
Oh, The Matrix.
The Matrix.
The Matrix was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking film. It redefined the genre.
It really did.
The impact it had.
On cinema, but also pop culture as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the bullet time sequences,
Right.
the philosophical questions.
The costumes.
Yeah, iconic.
It was just a visual and intellectual feast.
And Keanu as Neo,
Yeah.
captivating.
He trained so hard for that role.
Oh, yeah. He really immersed himself in it.
Martial arts, wire work, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. It's just his dedication to his craft really shines through.
Yeah, but what I find really fascinating about Keanu is that his success hasn't changed who he is.
Totally. He's remained so humble and down to earth.
It's true. You hear stories about him giving up his seat on the subway,
Yeah.
helping stranded motorists.
Quietly donating to charities.
There's just this genuine kindness that radiates from him.
Totally.
This empathy that seems to extend to everyone he meets.
It's like the opposite of the stereotypical Hollywood star.
Yeah, it's like he's consciously rejecting the trappings of fame, choosing to live a more authentic life.
Totally. And speaking of authenticity, he wrote a book called Ode to Happiness.
I'd love to dig into that a bit.
Me too. But before we do that,
Okay.
let's talk about some of his other ventures outside of just like traditional acting.
Yeah, for sure.
So he lent his voice and likeness to the video game Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, that's right.
And he's going to be making his Broadway debut in Waiting for Godot,
Wow.
which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. It's a testament to his creative curiosity.
Yeah, and his willingness to embrace new challenges.
Totally.
It's like he's constantly seeking new ways to express himself, connect with audiences.
Yeah, he's not afraid to push the boundaries.
Not at all.
It's really inspiring.
It is. And you know what? It's inspiring to see someone like Keanu who could easily just rest on his laurels. But instead, he chooses to keep pushing himself creatively.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this book, Ode to Happiness.
Okay.
What kind of insights does this book offer into his worldview?
Well, it's not your typical self-help book.
Okay.
It's more like a darkly humorous reflection on sadness
Oh, interesting.
and like the struggle to find joy.
Okay.
It's almost like he's giving us permission to embrace our melancholy and find humor in the absurdity of it all.
You wouldn't expect that from
Right.
someone who is often seen as this like stoic action hero.
Yeah.
There's a lot more depth to him than I think what we see on the surface.
Absolutely. The book is filled with these poignant but witty observations about life, loss, the human condition.
Yeah, it's clear that he's grappled with some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah. But he's found a way to find beauty and humor, even in the darkness.
And his sister, Kim, battled leukemia.
Right.
And I wonder if that experience influenced his outlook on life.
It's hard to say for sure, but I think it's safe to say that his sister's illness had a profound impact on him. And it seems like it really instilled in him this deep sense of compassion, this desire to make a difference in the world.
Yeah, which makes his philanthropy even more meaningful.
Totally. It's not just about writing a check. It's about using his platform to raise awareness,
Yeah.
support causes that are close to his heart.
Like his dedication to cancer research is really admirable.
Yeah, he's donated millions to various organizations, and he's been a vocal advocate for finding a cure.
It speaks volumes about his character.
Yeah. Even amidst his own personal struggles, he's always thinking of others.
It's a testament to his empathy and his belief in the power of human connection.
He understands that true fulfillment comes from giving back,
Yeah.
making a positive impact.
And it brings us back to this question of what makes Keanu so captivating. It's not just his talent or his looks. It's this genuine sense of kindness and humility.
That seems to permeate everything he does.
He really challenges the stereotypical image of like the jaded celebrity.
It's true.
He chooses to live a life grounded in authenticity and compassion.
And that resonates with people
It really does.
on a deep level.
It's like he's showing us that it's possible to navigate the world with grace and empathy,
Yeah.
even when you're faced with immense challenges.
His story reminds us that we all have the capacity for kindness, resilience, selflessness.
Right.
He's a beacon of hope
Yeah.
in a world that often feels cynical and divided.
So beyond Ode to Happiness, what are some other examples of his ventures outside of traditional acting?
Well, we mentioned Cyberpunk 2077,
Right.
where he voiced and provided motion capture for the character Johnny Silverhand.
Right. That was a big deal when that game came out.
It was.
Fans are so excited.
Yeah, it shows his willingness to experiment,
Yeah.
engage with different forms of storytelling.
And then, of course, his upcoming Broadway debut in Waiting for Godot.
That's right. Pretty bold move.
It is.
For someone who's primarily known for his film work, speaks to his artistic curiosity, his desire to challenge himself.
I find it fascinating that he chose Waiting for Godot.
Yeah, it's a very existential piece exploring themes of absurdity, the search for meaning.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what drew him to this play, what resonated with him.
Maybe he sees a parallel between the play's themes and his own journey, navigating fame, loss, the search for something greater.
It's also interesting that he's reuniting with his old Bill and Ted co-star, Alex Winter, for this production.
That's right.
It highlights the importance of relationships and collaboration in his life.
Yeah, he seems to really value those connections.
Yeah.
The bonds formed through shared creative experiences.
It speaks to his humility, recognizing that success is rarely achieved alone.
Yeah, he's a team player.
So we've talked about his childhood, his career highs and lows, personal tragedy, philanthropy.
His book.
Yeah, his ventures beyond acting.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been.
What stands out to you as the most compelling aspect of Keanu Reeves?
I think it's the way he embodies this idea of radical kindness.
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's not just about random acts of generosity.
Okay.
It's a philosophy that seems to inform every aspect of his life.
Interesting.
It's about treating everyone with respect and compassion, regardless of their status or background.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It seems like he genuinely believes in the inherent worth of every individual.
Yeah, and that belief manifests in his actions. He chooses to live a life grounded in humility, authenticity, and empathy. He doesn't let fame dictate his values or his interactions with others.
It's truly inspiring.
It is.
It challenges us to be more mindful of our own actions.
Yeah.
To consider how we can make a positive impact on the world around us.
Absolutely.
His story's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we can choose to be kind, be resilient, and never give up on the pursuit of a life filled with purpose and meaning.
Well said. It seems like we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Is there anything else you think our listeners should know about Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that he's human, just like us.
Oh, absolutely.
He's experienced joy and sorrow.
Triumph and tragedy.
He's not perfect.
And he's never claimed to be.
We tend to put celebrities on pedestals.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
But it's important to remember they're flawed and complex individuals, just like everyone else.
They're just people.
Right.
What's remarkable about Keanu is that he doesn't shy away from his humanity. He embraces it. He shows us that it's okay to be vulnerable, make mistakes, grieve, keep searching for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain.
His story is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we can choose to be kind, be resilient, and never give up on the pursuit of a life filled with purpose and meaning.
Beautifully said.
It really is quite remarkable, the impact that he has had on so many people.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
It's really inspiring. And you know what?
What?
It's amazing how someone can achieve such incredible fame and success, yet still maintain that sense of humility and connection to their own humanity.
It's a rare quality.
It is.
So after this deep dive into the life and career of Keanu Reeves, is there a key takeaway you think our listeners should walk away with?
You know, it's been quite a journey.
It has.
From his unconventional upbringing to his blockbuster roles, quiet acts of generosity.
His story offers a lot of compelling lessons.
It does.
But what strikes me most is how he embodies this idea that true strength comes from embracing both our light and our shadow.
What do you mean by that?
Think about it. He's faced immense loss and hardship, the deaths of loved ones, personal struggles.
Yeah.
That's the shadow side. Yet he consistently chooses kindness, empathy, creative exploration. That's the light.
Right.
He doesn't shy away from the difficult stuff. And that makes his positive actions even more meaningful.
I see what you're saying. It's like he's saying, look, life can be messy and painful.
Yeah.
But we can still choose to be good to each other.
Exactly.
We can find beauty and purpose even in the darkness.
Precisely. And that's a message that resonates deeply, especially in a world that often feels divided and overwhelmed. Keanu's story reminds us that we're all in this together, each navigating our own unique set of challenges and triumphs.
It makes me think about the impact we each have on the world around us. Maybe it's not about grand gestures, but rather those small, everyday acts of kindness that ripple outward.
I couldn't agree more.
Like holding a door open for someone,
offering a genuine compliment,
listening with an open heart.
These seemingly insignificant actions can create a more positive and compassionate world.
Totally. So what can our listener do to apply this Keanu wisdom?
Ooh, that's a good question.
To their own life?
Should they start training for intense action sequences?
Right. Like, should we all be doing gun fu now?
Well, I wouldn't recommend jumping into any high-stakes gun fu just yet.
Okay, good.
Perhaps the takeaway is more about cultivating that inner strength and resilience.
I like that.
You know, what obstacles are they facing? How can they approach those challenges with a bit more grace, humor, determination? It's not about becoming Keanu Reeves, but rather tapping into those qualities we admire in him.
Totally.
And seeing how they can enrich our own lives.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for further inspiration, I encourage our listener to check out Keanu's book,
Ode to Happiness.
It's a surprisingly insightful and humorous exploration of finding joy even amidst sadness.
I think they'd really enjoy it.
Or maybe catch his Broadway debut.
Oh, yeah?
In Waiting for Godot.
I hope this deep dive has sparked a sense of wonder and appreciation for Keanu Reeves.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a fascinating guy. And remember, sometimes a little bit of Bill and Ted wisdom can go a long way.
Oh, I love it.
Be excellent to each other.
Words to live by.
Yeah.